Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show, your daily fix of football chat here on STV. Delighted to have your company. The main talking points tonight, Celtic's Lee Griffiths is heading to 30 goals for the season after a hat-trick in the 8-1 demolition of Hamilton Accies last night. Scottish football bosses are looking to overhaul the Challenge Cup, and Hearts striker Osman Sow is attracting interest north and south of the border. Just a few of the topics we'll be discussing. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin, and I'm delighted to say our bookroom guest is the Hearts legend John Robertson. Ruffy and Robbo never too far away from each other in the 80s, one of them bending over to pick the ball out of the net, the other one celebrating putting it in there in the first place. Is that a fair comment, Ruffy?
Yeah, I would say so, but the other sight I used to get was his backside just running back to the halfway line celebrating, after he'd scored.
Absolutely. The reason I mean, he did make a good few saves in his time in Derby matches.
Yeah, he talked earlier on about the fact that in the first Derby game, he had 3 terrific saves in the first 10 minutes that allowed Ralph Callan to put Hibs in front, but he got normal service resumed after the break. To be fair, he still regaled down Gorgie Way for his magnificent Derby record.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we don't want to put him on a downer before the show starts, but I want to get your thoughts because obviously you're a man who's played in a number of games, made top draw saves and maybe been on the end of losing the game. Michael McGovern, usually we have a little sprinkling of luck on a player when he comes on the programme, Ruffy, but I think we'd ran out of the gold dust that day because it was 8-1 for Celtic last night against Hamilton Accies, but it was 8-1 going on 14 or 15.
Yeah, and I think a lot of clubs have been on the end of that when Celtic are on fire, particularly at home. The chances they create, and that's why nobody's surprised that Lee Griffiths has got the amount of goals that he's got. The chances they create are amazing when they're on fire. I mean, it's an amazing start. And somebody was saying they'd only scored 6 goals at home in the last 4 or 5 home games. So when it clicks, and if you're on the receiving end of it, which I have been on numerous occasions, it's a hard one to deal with. Yeah,
Michael McGovern, I'm sure was the contender for man of the match with some of the saves he was making, Robbo, but that won't console him. This is a Hamilton Accies side with, I think, 1 win in 15 games. It's critical now. Yeah,
that's a worrying thing if you're an academical fan or Martin Cannon to a certain degree at the moment. You'll be worried about your team's form. And it's not just the fact that they're losing, as Alan said, they're losing heavily. The 4-0 defeat to Annan, or 4-1 defeat to Annan, sorry, is a real eye-opener. And I think they lost 4 at Dundee previously, which is very un-Accies-like. They don't tend to ship a lot of goals, but I caught the game coming up to the academy last night and then coming back in the second half, and it was all about Michael McGovern making save after save after save, and he kept the score down. But the Derek Ferguson, who's well known, he's from Hamilton and knows a lot. That he felt that they downed tools last night, which I find hard to believe because Hamilton are not that kind of club. That's not the way they go about their business.
Yeah.
Alec Neil in particular had them that they were, they're snapping and growling. They're that type of team. And from a Hearts perspective, that doesn't bode well because Hearts arrive at New Douglas Park on Sunday, and you'd imagine that sometimes after you see a heavy defeat like that, you think, they're going to be the complete opposite when they trot out there on Sunday. But there's no doubt if Hearts can get a goal or 2 early, then the confidence could be sapping from. But 1 win in 15 games is alarming. The good news for Martin is Hamilton are not a sacking club. I don't think his job's in any danger, but he'll want wins sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's a good point you make, Robbo, because knowing a number of the board members, Ruffy, they are not a club that would suffer from a knee-jerk reaction. But I think I was talking to someone this morning about it. They've either got to back him and get players in there to strengthen and shore up the back line, or they've got to get someone else in to help them, which is not beyond the realms of possibility, or they've got to turn around and say, you cut the cord and you look for a new manager. I don't think they will do that because I don't think there's a prime candidate that they like from within their own camp.
No, they've always supported their manager, and quite rightly so. They have a philosophy at Hamilton of bringing through the young players, and he's into that, and that's what they want. Want a manager to keep it going, ticking along. They'll bounce back, as John says. He'll be hoping it's not this weekend, but it's going to be a long, long season for them. The only problem he's going to have is the fans. We've spoken about this on numerous occasions. When the fans turn on somebody, that's when sometimes directors make decisions, sometimes hasty decisions. So let's hope that the Hamilton supporters stick by the team, and I'm sure the majority of them will.
Yeah, I had Partick Thistle to be relegated. I think I've got that wrong, Robbo, but I had Hamilton Accies in the playoff position. But again, I didn't see that because they had a real purple patch where they started to look as if they were going up the table, but now they're starting to slump back down again.
I think most teams have had that this season so far, apart from Dundee United. They're still looking for the good run of form. And
do you think they're gone, John?
I think their next 2 or 3 games could all but seal it in one way or another, because they play Kilmarnock this Saturday at Tannadice. They have to win that. They have to make inroads. They have to start winning games. I think Mix has only won 1 match, and they've not had the bounce. We talk about teams suffering from confidence, which Hamilton are at the moment, but you normally get a bounce. And some of Dundee United's performances have been half decent, but they just don't seem to be able to stop leaking goals, and that's where you worry for the Hamilton aspect of it. They need to stop it. They got a 0-0 at Perth. Martin's probably thought that's addressed issues, and then they lose 8 goals. But from this perspective, if you're Gary Locke, they've had a draw at Hearts, they've beaten Inverness at home, they're now travelling to Tannadice saying, well, if we go and win this game, that could all but get them well away, 17 points away with 15 or 16 games to go. It's a tough ask, and I believe Dundee United play Hamilton as well quite soon. So these are 2 matches that Dundee United have to win. They have to start cutting the gap, otherwise they've gone. Now, when you look at the relegation playoff place, I mean, at this moment in time, there's only 8 points between second bottom and fourth. I think St Johnstone on 32 points and Kilmarnock are on 24. So any team at all that puts a run of form can easily get into Europe, but at the same token, a bad run could see them in the relegation place. And I still feel Inverness will get themselves out. They've got good players, and I still think they've got a lot of players coming back from injury, and I can still see them climbing the table and finishing along with St Johnstone 4th, 5th. The rest of the teams at the moment, you see Motherwell put a good run together. They're still down there. Partick have put a great run together recently. They're still down there. Kilmarnock are the same. And it's such a cutthroat area of the league that anything could happen.
See, with that point that John's making there, again, the playoff place, suddenly, you're going to play either Rangers, Hibs or Falkirk, Ruffy. Would you bet on Accies, in a playoff over 2 matches? They've done it before, but I think it's a different situation now.
Yeah, I think it'd be harder now. I think they got Hibs at the right time. I think Hibs were on a sort of a 1-1 and 12, so their confidence was low the last time Hamilton played them. I think it'll be different this time. Whichever of the 3 teams, I think they're all playing well just now. But I don't think anybody would want to be in that playoff position, because it's a risky one to be in. Yeah,
just briefly, and I think we've got to pay tribute to him, John. You were a goal scorer yourself of some repute. Lee Griffiths is 27 goals. I mean, you were actually the man who signed him as a youngster. He's been unbelievable this season. He's buckled down.
Yeah, I think there's a maturity about Lee now. We've all said in the past, he's been a bit eccentric off the pitch. He's done things that he probably wish he hadn't done. But on the pitch, the lad's magnificent. He's an absolute goal machine. He scores all types of goals. In the past, if there was one, not a criticism, but if there was one thing you'd say about Lee, it all seemed to be wonder goals he scored. He's now getting himself in the box. He's scoring the trademark poacher's goals. Tap-ins, deflections. He's on hand for rebounds. His 3rd goal last night, wonderful, just a little lob over an unfortunate Michael. But he's scoring, his confidence up. He signed a 5-year deal. I think that's the key. He knows where he's going to be for the next 5 years. He's enjoying his football. He's in a team that's creating lots and lots of chances, as Ruffy says. And if you're a striker in a team that's creating lots and lots of chances, you don't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah. Would you like to see him in a 2, Ruffy?
Yeah, I think I would. I think Gordon Strachan's already made his mind up. He's not going to be in the team as a single striker up front. That's up to Lee to prove him that he can do it. There's a couple of friendlies coming up. This is the opportunity for Lee to prove Gordon wrong. Sometimes the manager can't be right all the time. Let's see what he can do. I think this is the ideal opportunity for players like Lee Griffiths to show Gordon that he might be wrong.
Yeah, I know Robbo would probably come up with a few names from Hearts who'll be contending the Player of the Year, Ruffy, but can you see anyone stopping Lee Griffiths in the Premiership?
No, at the moment. He's a stick out. As John said, he's more mature now. He looks as if he's got his head screwed on the right way, and he's going about his business, and he's a fan's favourite now, and he's loving every minute of it.
In a word, Hamilton, can they escape the playoff?
No.
Yep, I don't think at this moment in time you can actually make anybody a favourite or not a favourite to be in that 11th spot.
Okay. It's all about opinions, and of course in the second part of the programme we'll get more from our special guest John Robertson. We might even get him talking about some of the goals that he scored past Ruffy, but then again we might not, because that's a 4-hour special for later on in the year. we are going to talk about Hearts and their title challenge. We'll get Robbo's thoughts on that, and of course we'll look at the games at the weekend as well. Join us after the break if you can. Alan Ruff, myself, Peter Martin, and our boot-room guest, John Robertson. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin, and as ever, your daily fix of football chat involves a boot-room guest, and it doesn't get any better if you're a striker than Hearts legend John Robertson, who is our guest tonight. John, delighted you're with us. Of course, there's another man scoring goals, attracting attention at Tynecastle. Osman Sow, Birmingham City. There's also reports of Celtic and Rangers, but Birmingham City, the latest to cast their eye over him. How good is he?
Yeah, he was at Crystal Palace before he came to Hearts, and he had a bad run with niggling injuries and didn't really get a run. But he's got everything you like. He's a big, tall lad. He's about 6'4", 6'5", rangy, unbelievably quick. He doesn't look it, but he's got this big stride when he gets going. I believe over 50 yards is the quickest at Tynecastle, and he's got an eye for a goal. You know, he's not your robust, big, tall, you know, hold the ball up striker type. He tends to run into spaces, run in behind, but he can run in behind, and when he gets going with the ball at his feet as well, it's incredible. And he's added the goal last year. He scored a lot of goals this year. He's top goal scorer with 12, I think. It's only natural that he's going to attract attention. And you know, I think if he was to stay in Scotland, I could see him staying with Hearts. Like he loves the club, loves the place, loves the fans. But the attention of England, a Championship club, or a Premiership club, or the opportunity to go Championship to Premiership, and the money that they can attract down there, it's obvious why teams like Birmingham City are interested in them.
Yeah. I was going to say it, John, everybody's been raving about the young boys even last year. Do you think the inclusion of the foreign players have upped their game?
They've added something new, Alan, in the respect that, you know, we did have we do, I should say, have a crop of really talented youngsters. You know, Callum Patterson, Jordan McGee, Billy King, Sam Nicholson, Jamie Walker are all there. We've added Gavin Riley. But there's no doubt that there's a lot that the foreign insight bring a little bit. I think Craig and Robbie see value for money. You know, these guys, and most of these lads have had some blemish in their career. Osman's had a lot of injuries. Augustine had a lot of injuries. Osturk was the same. You've got the boy Hume, who's been terrific. He's come in. They've not quite made it at clubs, and Hearts see a value that money-wise are not in the extortionate wages of the Championship or even League One in England nowadays. And they see Hearts as a potential stepping stone to move on down towards the Championship. So, you know, when you give someone like Osman Sow the opportunity he has been given to showcase, and he does well, you've got to expect that there's going to be attention. Yeah,
you did mention there money talks, Robbo. Every Hearts fan's probably delighted to know that he's happy, he likes the club. You know, if somebody comes in with something silly, then
he's
you have
out
to
of
look
contract
at
as well, Peter. As well, that's the thing. And you know, the big thing is you know, even a lot of Hearts fans are saying, well, if we can keep him till the end of the season and he walks on nothing, fine. Are Hearts going to be offered groundbreaking money for him, or you know, money that they can refuse to turn down at the moment? Possibly. You see, O'Halloran at St Johnstone, allegedly Rangers are putting in bids around about 150, 200,000, and St Johnstone saying that it's not worth us letting him go. Osman Sow's here till the end of the season. Now Hearts may look at it and think they've got Hibs in the cup. You know, do we take 100, 150, 200,000 pounds now, or do we just keep him to the end of the season and let him walk for nothing? That may well be the case. You know,
yeah, I'd probably take it now.
Yeah, well, but, you probably would. I think the smart money would be that he'll stay in this window and probably see the season out. I know Hearts are trying very, very hard in the background with his agent to try and negotiate a new contract for him. There's no doubt Robbie and Craig see him as a pivotal part of the club, and that's the case. But you've got to be realistic. It may well be that he's decided that after spending 2 seasons up here, that he wants to get back to the cut and thrust of the English side of the game, and you know, he's done the business on the pitch. So if he does go, you have to wish him well. And the good thing to boot is he's a really, really nice guy. He's an absolute gentleman. He chats away. He's always happy to do the things for the hospitality lounges and the community in general. So you can only wish the lad good luck. Like everybody else from a Maroon persuasion, we hope he's here for longer than the end of the season, but we'll take that just in case.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to ask you, Robbo, you know, we were talking on another show about the Hibs and the Hearts derbies, those great derbies. You'd love to see them back. I mean, are you pro an extended league, or would you just like to, doesn't matter how it happens, you'd like to see Hibs back up next season?
No, you want all your talk. We've missed Rangers, there's any doubt about that, but they've had to start again, come through the leagues and get there through sporting integrity, on the pitch results. We do miss Hibs, there's no doubt about it. The clamour for this cup tie tickets was, we could sell twice, 3, 4, 5 times over, no problem at all. So that proves that how big a game the Edinburgh Derby is. There's no doubt about that. And yeah, you do want to back. I'm not sure. We've revamped the League Cup. We've gone back to the future for that. I quite like the idea of that. A lot of young lads will get games, will get game time. Start the league a bit earlier. Absolutely no problems there at all. I've said before, Scottish reform for me, I would go the route of all the mainland European countries and go regional. I would have 2 top leagues, one at 12, one at 10. And then I would have north, south, east and west, and everybody play off there. Why? A lot more local derbies, less travelling for the fans. For us to still have Berwick versus Elgin, Berwick versus Peterhead, Stranraer versus Peterhead, etc. is a nonsense. Why are we making these teams and fans going the whole length of? They're not taking any fans to the away games, so why not just have it all regional? Less movement of fans, more fans going to games, more money in clubs' pockets, but it gives the progressive clubs a chance to get through. Because right now, to win one of the regional leagues, Highland or Lowland, it would take you 4 seasons to get to the championship. You could do it in 1. If you win your league, win your playoff of the 4 leagues, and then beat the team at the bottom of the championship, you could be in the championship in 1 season. Surely that's the way to give progressive teams in their leagues, the Spartans, the Broras, the Formartins, the Turrets, of this world, an opportunity to get there much quicker.
Yeah, and are you pro the suggestion from yesterday's SPFL meeting of an overhaul of the Challenge Cup that may well involve a couple from Wales, a couple from England, maybe Premiership under 20?
Again, the Challenge Cup has been a tournament for teams out with the Premier League to give them opportunities to win a national trophy. It works well for me. What I would like to see, I'd like to see it go back to get finished before Christmas. I love the League Cup when the League Cup went from sections to knockout to make it more exciting. The final was in November, so you knew if you had a good start of the season and you were in particularly good form, you could win the cup in November that year and it had a European place. I think that would be the first part to try and get it back to.
Yeah.
For me, just knock out straight through this. You know, you get to the semi-finals by
finals next
November,
April.
but the semi-finals not till February.
I mean, it's
and
a
the
good
finals not till March or April. It's too big a break. People forgot all about the Petrofac Training Cup, and then suddenly it'll be regurgitated around about the sort of end of February, March, and then it's the same in the League Cup.
Yeah.
Everybody's forgotten about it. I mean, if you said to somebody right away, right now, you know, tell us who the 4 teams left in the League Cup are, you have to have a wee think about it because you've forgotten all about it.
Yeah, I like what Rob was saying there. I like the League Cup especially, final in November.
Yeah, I like the old format as well. It used to be Wednesday, Saturday. It was finished, then you went straight into the quarter-final. Final we played in was in October, so you had a cup under your belt. Everything that Rob was saying is common sense. It's just that nobody seems to listen. Yeah,
and just one final point, Robbo. I tipped Hearts to be top 3, maybe being, looking at the good job that the club is doing. Have they exceeded your expectations? And are we placing too much pressure on Hearts and Aberdeen to do something against Celtic?
No, I think given the budget size, you are expecting top clubs to do well when, you know, there's been a softly approach from the club. Robbie was told top 6 was acceptable, and that's what he's been working to. But if you know the ambition of Robbie and know the ambition of Craig, then you'll know that they were looking a wee bit higher than that, although publicly they may not admit it. And I think where we are, we deserve to be in 3rd place, and I don't see us dropping any worse than that. If we could catch Aberdeen, it would be great. But if we don't, then it's a tremendous effort this season.
Yeah, well, after you get knocked out of the cup, you could concentrate on the
league. Twice at Tynecastle in a week.
I can't believe you've allowed him. He's in 2 digs at you and you haven't bitten.
No, listen, Alan's, given his years' experience in international recognition as a legend of the game, Hall of Fame inductee, it's only natural that you bow to his wit and humour.
Yes, absolutely.
Within the next minute.
Absolutely.
But no, it's been good for Hearts league-wise, but as I say, Hibs have a notorious double coming up. They have to come to Tynecastle on 2 occasions in a week. One to play St Johnstone in the League Cup, and the other against Hearts. So it's a brilliant week for Hibs, and it'll be interesting to see how they come through that.
Yeah, absolutely, Ruffy.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the cup one is the one where, you know, as John said, you could sell it twice over.
Yeah, you certainly could, and it's a fantastic day, and it's a fantastic game. It's a fantastic arena to play in, and anybody associated with the whole day will have a fantastic day.
Yep, I'm certainly hoping that when John calls me to say that there is a hospitality place available for the Edinburgh Derby, if you haven't been to one, you should make a point of going. Maybe not this one, because you'd have to get a ladder and somehow see through the holes, because everybody wants to go and see it. But nevertheless, Ruffy, can Hibs?
I think Hibs will be happy with a draw to take it back to Easter Road.
Okay, I'm not going to ask John because I know exactly what he's going to say. He's got a wry smile on his face right now. It's been an absolute joy having John Robertson as our boot-room guest. Join us tomorrow if you can. Hugh McDonald will be on the programme. From Ruffy and myself, thanks for watching.